rocket barrages. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has defended its action by stating that it is taking special care to avoid civilian casualties after Israeli airstrikes flattened a building in Gaza housing the Associated Press and other international media outlets. U.S. President Joe Biden has expressed grave concern over violence in Israel and Gaza in a phone call with Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu on Saturday, while separately telling Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas that Hamas must cease firing rockets. Leila Mohammed has more details.
UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres was dismayed by civilian casualties in Gaza and deeply disturbed by Israel's strike on a building containing international media outlets. His comments came as Israel pummeled the Gaza Strip with airstrikes, killing 10 members of an extended family and demolishing the 13th-floor Gaza building housing Qatar-based Al Jazeera and the Associated Press news agency, with Palestinian militants firing back barrages of rockets. On its part, Israel states that it is defending itself with being careful not to cause civilian casualties. But till now, over 100 Palestinian civilians have been killed since the beginning of atrocities between the two groups.
Israel is doing everything possible to protect our civilians and keep Palestinian civilians out of harm's way.
Israeli air and artillery strikes on Gaza since Monday have killed 147 people, including 41 children, and wounded another 1,100, health officials say, the worst violence in the region since 2014. Palestinian armed groups have fired at least 2,300 rockets at Israel, killing 10 people, including a child and a soldier, and wounding over 560 Israelis. Major clashes broke out at the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound, Islam's third holiest site, on May 7th, following a crackdown against protests over planned Israeli expulsions of Palestinians in the Sheikh Jarrah neighborhood of Israel-occupied East Jerusalem. UN humanitarian official Lynn Hastings says that those affected are sheltering in schools, mosques and other places during a global COVID-19 pandemic, with limited access to water, food, hygiene and health services. Tens of thousands of protesters marched in support of Palestinians on Saturday in major European cities including London, Berlin, Madrid and Paris, as the worst violence in years raged between Israel and militants in Gaza. Meanwhile, in Madrid, some 2,500 people, many of them young ones wrapped in Palestinian flags, marched to the Puerta del Sol Plaza in the city center. Across North America, in-turn gatherings to show solidarity with Palestinians took place in cities including Boston, Washington, Montreal and Dearborn, Michigan. Several hundred people turned out in the Bay Ridge area of Brooklyn, New York, chanting "Free, Free Palestine," and from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free.